Alright, so today what I wanted to do was kind of take a break from talking about the remakes and the current games and look ahead towards the next big game in the franchise, like the main game, probably RE9, but even so, maybe even after that. And it's the fact that we definitely need more new characters introduced to the franchise. There's a multitude of reasons as to why this is. One being, you know, the mainline series is canon and it is based around like real time. So the characters we know, again, I've said it before, they're getting old now, and you know, it comes to a point where they can't physically do what they're doing right now. But the kind of the main one I wanted to kind of talk about, more reason behind it today at least, is, you know, Resident Evil games as a whole are horror games. You know, they're survival horror games. They're meant to be scary. They're meant to like be horror games at their core. And if you have a character that is part of the storyline that's been in multiple entries, just for example, we'll take Chris, okay, because he's very prominent in the new games and he's been in many, many more. You can't make a game that's scary with a character you're playing that's seen everything, because they're not really going to be phased by it anymore, you know. And as much as I like the characters and I definitely want them to stick around as long as they can, I don't think you can really make a fully horror themed game with a character that has gone through the same situation about 20 times by this point. You know, the prime examples to things done correctly are the very first game and the second game. You know, you've got Chris and Jill and you've got Leon and Claire. It's their first time dealing with it. You know, they're new to it. It's a new situation, so it feels a bit more genuine that it's a pretty spooky situation to be in. But then you jump forward to Resident Evil 4. Again, Leon's been trained now. He's kind of prepared for it. Chris is, you know, Resident Evil 5. He's a military guy now. He's literally in a team that is made to deal with this situation. So, of course, it's not really going to bother him. He's probably seeing too much now. And pretty much any of the main cast, really. They've been through enough of it for it to be not normal, but not a shock to them. But then you jump ahead to RE7, which to this day is still one of my favourite games in the entire franchise. Ethan Winters, main character, introduced completely new guy, completely separate from anything that's been done before it, is just a guy, and is thrown into the deep end. And if you've played Resident Evil Village, you'll know exactly what happens to him. But just a dude, and Resident Evil 7 is still pretty damn spooky because you aren't this capable military guy. You are going to die. You are going to get absolutely destroyed if you aren't careful in that game, and it really does capture that, you know, you are not prepared for this kind of situation feeling, and it's very well done. You can also say the same thing for Rose in the DLC, but the issue with that, which I have, is the powers. Yes, she's kind of new to the situation. It's completely kind of brand new to her, and she hasn't been in it before, but she has superpowers, so it's kind of less of an issue, you know. But the very first part of the DLC is very good, but when you start getting the powers unlocked and you can use it more often, it becomes a bit of a non-issue, and you know, the character even kind of gets used to that fairly quickly. The one bit I'll give it is like the bit in the Beneviento house with the dolls. That's pretty creepy, but in terms of combat and fighting the monsters, you have magic powers, so you really don't need to worry about it too much. But I think Ethan really caught, you know, the feeling of the horror game, you know, that it should be, because it's just a guy. So yeah, kind of what I'm trying to say in this video, it's very brief. Make new characters. Make new characters that aren't military dudes or military women who aren't, you know, fully capable of dealing with the situation. Have the current cast still present in maybe the next 1 or 2 games. I have a feeling RE9 will be very Chris focused. I could be wrong, but I feel like that's probably what's going to happen. But after that, maybe introduce more characters, but have the original cast be in more of a mentor role, you know. They're still in the game, you don't play as them, but they are there to kind of help you at certain points in the game. Again, very kind of similar to what Chris does in Resident Evil 7 and what he kind of does in Resident Evil Village, where he's there to help, but that is it. Anyway, that's going to do it. Let me know what you think of that kind of idea. Do you want to see more characters introduced that are new? Do you want to see more of the old school cast? Let me know. But yeah, thank you all for watching, and as always, I'll catch you in the next one.